Well, oftentimes as a real estate professional, you will be selling a property that's in a subdivision or possibly some type of a development where there are HOA fees, homeowner association fees. And these are fees that are sometimes paid in advance. Sometimes they are paid in arrears. Most of the situations I've seen in my area, homeowner association fees are paid in advance. So in other words, when they come due, you're going to pay them for the entire year. So let's go to the board and take a look at this example where Phyllis is working with some buyer, friends of hers, Tony and Cindy. They have found a home that is in a lake and resort development. We can see here that the fees are $2,500 per year, and they are paid in advance. So the problem tells us that it would be your responsibility to find this out from the HOA. And also, another good point here is it's a good idea for you to be sure and get the contact person as well as the phone number. Sometimes those can be a challenge for the escrow company to track down who's in charge and whether those HOAs have been paid or not. So make sure you get all of that information so that makes your closing go a little smoother. Now in our example here, we can see that they are paid each year on July 1st, and we have a close on October 1st. Well, if the fees are paid in advance, and that's what it tells us, that they are paid in advance right here. When these fees were paid on July 15th, I think that's when they were due. Did it say they're paid each year on July 1st, I should say. So July 1st, those fees are paid in advance so that if this was 2021, these fees would actually be paid through 2022. So we're kind of going to look at this, how this moves forward here. For some strange reason, my Alexa is talking to me over there, so hopefully she'll be quiet here in just a second. So let's take a look at this. The first order of business is to take $2,500. That's the amount of the fees, and we want to divide that by 12. We need to find out what the monthly fee is. So 2,500 divided by 12 gives us $208.33. That is per month. Now let's figure out what the daily amount is, and I just always like to take the monthly amount, $208.33, and divide it by 30. Again, that's 30 days, right? This was 12 months up here that we did. And so 208.33 divided by 30 will give me $6.94, and this is per day. So that's per day, okay? Now, what we want to do in this situation is we need to go back up here and we need to look at our closing date, which is October the 1st, and we need to try to figure out how many months have not been paid. So the way I would actually look at this, it's paid in advance, is I would take July as a month, August as a month, and September as a month. Remember, they're paid in advance, so you have July, August, September. So there are 3 months that the seller's technically paid for because they've owned the property for 3 months, which means 12 minus 3 is 9, right? So there are 9 months that the buyer needs to refund the seller. So let's take a look at this then. And basically, all we have to worry about is the monthly. So 208 208.33, and we're going to multiply this times 9. 208.33 times 9 equals 1,874.97. Now, I'm going to double check that. 208.33 times 9 equals 1,874.97. And this would be shown as a credit to the seller. Remember, they paid this in advance on July 1st, and so the seller needs to get a refund of the unused portion, and we are going to charge or debit the buyer because the buyer will own this property from 10/1 through next June 30th. And so this way the buyer has paid their share of the association or the homeowner association fees. So don't panic. These are not too challenging or difficult. This was fairly easy because we had a closing on the first day of the month, but you can see I worked the step for you that if there were some days in there, you would just have to calculate those and figure that as well. So good job on that question, but you will see and have experience, I'm sure, with selling properties that require a proration for the homeowner association dues.